Tiara here with Gypsyfae Creations. Thanks so much for tuning in and joining me for another soap making adventure. It is officially fall and it is my favorite season to celebrate, and what better way to celebrate than with a shop update. All of my autumn inspired bars are going to be released today, from the blueberry oat muffin to candied apple, Autumn Mums, All Hallows Eve. Today is a second Halloween inspired soap. There's a bunch of pumpkin soaps in there. I did some lotion bar restocks and a few other random bars that I like to keep restocked throughout the year. So go check out the Etsy shop if you are interested. As far as today's soap goes, it is the most intricate, and I believe I saved the best for last. I usually try to do that. It is 3 sculpted layers. I sculpted 3, even the top of the soap was sculpted. I made a huge mess and I wasn't sure if it was going to turn out the way that I wanted, but it was so worth it and it's pretty spectacular. So I'm excited to share that with you guys. Best design, I would say, of this release. If I had to pick the best scent, I think Pumpkin Souffle was my favorite. So if they won awards, best design is today's, which is going to be Conjures and Cauldrons, and best scent is Pumpkin Souffle. So again, link down in the description box. Go check out the Etsy shop. And a few updates, because I am officially 8 months pregnant and it is a very, very busy time of the year for me. Birthdays and anniversaries and getting ready for this little dude's arrival. Bradley and I also bought a house, so we've been working on that, and I've just been so crazy overwhelmed with everything that is going on. Painting and cleaning and moving and just trying to do the whole nesting thing and getting everything organized in the baby's nursery, and with a new house comes a new soap shed. I'm calling it a soap shack, but that also needs to be worked on and insulated, and there's just so much to do. So that means October is going to be a little different. I just want to update you, let you know that there won't be as many videos. They will be silent, and I will do a couple restock soaps, but October's going to be a little bit slow, so bear with me. November I'll have all of my holiday soaps out, and December might be a little slow as well with holidays, and just wish me luck, you guys, because there is so much going on. But I really do hope you guys enjoyed this autumn release and all of the soaps that I've made. You can go see them all the soaps that are in the shop. I have filmed and put on here for you guys, so if you've missed any of them, now's your chance to go back and watch them. But let's get started and let's make this Conjures and Cauldrons inspired soap. The final soap in the September release, and happy fall, y'all. Gonna start off with my whisk today because we are doing so many sculpted layers. I want this to stay very, very fluid. So I'm pouring in my lye solution. It is a mixture of sodium hydroxide lye with some sodium lactate, distilled water, and Tussa silk into my oils that has coconut milk powder and kaolin clay in it. And we'll whisk this until it looks like it is incorporated, and then we'll split this off into a couple colors. What I want to do is make a first layer to look like fire. Second layer will look like a cauldron, and then the top will be the bubbling of the cauldron's contents. So it's all in my head. Let's see if I can get it into soap. So for the fire that the cauldron sits on, I'm going to be coloring it. This is a Trial by Fire by Nurture. Fitting name, I think. And to the little one, I'm going to add some Atomic Orange. I'll mix those together, add the fragrance, do a little in the pot swirl, and then I will pour these into my 2 molds, let it sit until I can sculpt it to look like fire. So the fragrance I picked out is called Crackling Firewood, and this is by Crafter's Choice. I get it from Wholesale Supplies Plus. It is a warm glow of crackling warm woods blended with a hint of sweet raspberry and vanilla. And I was a little hesitant about this scent because when you try and put things like notes of smoke in fragrances, I'm always afraid it's going to smell like barbecue or it might be a little unnatural smelling, but I really like this smoky scent. It smells just like you were outside around a bonfire. And you know that smell that lingers on your clothes and in your hair. I love that smell. Anyone else love that smell? I know my stepmom's always saying as soon as she gets done with a bonfire, she has to go take a bath because she has to rinse that smell off because she can't stand it. And I'm like, oh my god, I love it. I want to wear like all the jackets and all the blankets outside so that when I bring them in, I can just sniff them the day later. Or if you're like out and you get this whiff of bonfire, like, that's me, that is my jacket, it smells great. Alright, let's get this mixed in, do a little pour, and get going on the sculpted layer. So for the cauldron bit, I'm going to color this in some black. And this is a Gunmetal and Glam that I got from Soapbox Micas, no longer in business, but I still have quite a bit of micas to use up from there. And then this is some black oxide pigment from Brambleberry. And we'll mix that in, add the fragrance, pour into the molds. And then I have this like little stencil here. I just kind of cut out what I think would look like a rim for the top of the cauldron. Hand drawn and cut out myself. So we'll see. On top of the soap, I have these little mini boiling bubbles that will go one on the side and one on the top. And then I've got these bats, that are wool of bats, that will go in the other side. So I'm going to apologize for a couple things right now. One, my camera turning off because it's really been acting up and you guys missed out on some sculpting. And I think we're going to have to do something about this camera. I have no idea what is going on with it, but it is quite annoying and it's not cool. It is not cool at all. But I assure you there was lots of mess involved. Sculpting soap layers usually causes a big mess, especially when I'm doing like a top one. I've never done a top sculpted layer before. Oh, there's glow-in-the-dark powder in these little balls, by the way. The other thing I'm going to apologize for is if you guys hear my neighbor. I often complain about them, but you know, they do what they gotta do. They are building something. I don't know if it's right under my window, but it surely sounds like it. They have like the hammer and table saw out and they are just going away at it. So you might hear that, but good news is Bradley and I are closing our house in 2 days. So won't have to deal with that much longer. Our neighbors are going to be a bit farther away from us. Exciting. Other exciting news that happened this week is I did my maternity shoot yesterday, and I just cannot wait to see what these pictures are all about. So I originally booked this photographer. I chose her because I love the work she does on her newborn sessions, and that's really all I wanted. But she was running a special that if you book with a newborn session, you can get usually either a free 6-month session or a maternity shoot. And I was like, I will take the maternity shoot. Wow. Everyone gets their pictures done around here at a place called Jerusalem Mill. It's like an old mill and it has a covered bridge, and I was like, oh, she suggested that and I'm kind of against it just because it's not what I'm going for. I told her I wanted something fairy, fantasy, wooded, medieval. You guys know me. Can't be just normal, of course not. So she had suggested a place that she has been dying to go find, and it was about a half-hour drive to a place called Daniels, Maryland, and it was in an abandoned, I say ghost town, but it's an abandoned town that was established, I think, sometime in the 1800s, and it flooded. It was like an old cotton mill that was out of business, and then eventually everyone moved out of town and the whole entire town flooded. So there were some old ruins, like a couple different churches. There was like old cars that had been washed away and just were falling apart and rusting everywhere. Just a lot of different things left behind, cemeteries and whatnot. And it's now part of a state park. So it was, I guess it was easy to find in a sense, but the part that we wanted was not easy to find. It was very wooded. It was hidden. And so she told me, she warned me, she's like, it is about a 2.5 mile trek in and a 2.5 mile trek out. But it was paved, from what I could tell. What I could tell from online, the research I did, it looked like the path was paved. So what I did, I was like, all right, I'm gonna call up my friend and ask to borrow one of her wheelchairs. And so she dropped it off to me, and we pull out with this wheelchair, and I packed everything. It was 90 degrees out. It was humid, and it was about 5:30 in the afternoon, so I was like, by the time I get this hike in, I am just going to be melted. There will be nothing left of my hair and makeup, And I had changed in the middle of the woods so that I didn't sweat, all in this long sleeve, long gown dress that I decided to wear. So it was quite an epic adventure. I thought that was a pretty smart and clever idea to do that. But we did get lost and we almost gave up trying to find these old ruins. Like, they had a church there that was a little more modern looking. Graffiti all over it. Totally not my style, but there was the stone ruins and that's what we were looking for. And on the way out, we had totally passed it. We had to climb up a hill and I got so muddy and sweaty by the end of it, but you guys, it was so worth it. 4 miles altogether. I didn't use the wheelchair the whole time because it was really muddy in places and not the whole thing was paved. Poor Bradley though, having to push that, not only the wheelchair around, but at times me in the wheelchair. Photographer was great. She sent me some of the pictures that she had edited by the end of the afternoon and it was just so magical. It was so worth the sweat and tears and stress and frustration to finally get there and take these magical pictures. Hopefully, like that, this soap will be worth it because, yeah, trying something new, made a huge mess. Don't know if it's even going to turn out the way I had envisioned it. And the stupid camera turning off on me. So I am just sprinkling on some green jojoba beads to add a little more bubble to the top of this. And I'm going to give it a spray of the rubbing alcohol, probably add some glitter to it. I'll bring you guys back in 24 hours when I go to cut it, and it will be a total surprise for you of what's going on the inside, thanks to the camera. Alright, let's cut into this spooky soap and see what we have. Turn this piece around and that is what I was going for. That's so cool. Like the little lip or the edge of the cauldron and like the fire going on down there and all the bubbly contents of the cauldron. And it smells really good. I am super happy with this soap, even though it was a mess to make. It is so worth it. So now that I know where this ruin is in the woods of Daniels, Maryland, this church ruin, I would love to go back and explore more. I think in the fall would be really pretty with the leaves changing, plus it would be so much cooler. As in weather-wise, to get around. And we didn't really get to see much while we were there. We were literally beating sundown and overcast to find this church before there was not good light for pictures. And we didn't get to find the spooky cemetery that was nearby. And there's just a lot of other ruins and buildings laying around that I would love to go back and see. So keeping that in mind. But even though there was overcast and the sun was going down, it was pretty dark. The photographer made these pictures so magical. You can't even tell that the lighting wasn't perfect. She just did an amazing job. And I'm so excited to show you guys. I'll leave some stuff at the end. There is one more thing that is going on this soap. One more ingredient. And that is these little frogs. Whether you want to add your tongue of frog or toe of frog, whatever your spell calls for, I'm going to attach them to the front of this soap, and that is the total design. Don't forget, this one is available today in the Etsy shop alongside all of the other fall soaps that I did. And I hope you guys have enjoyed watching me make this, even though the camera shut off on me. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. If you are new to the channel and haven't subscribed yet, please think about it. Come join me, hang out with me while I make other soaps. And Any questions or comments, you can leave them for me in the comments section down below. Stay tuned after the cutting because I'm going to add those frogs. And until next time, I hope you have a very nice day, and I will smell you later.